Antonio today, the only local news station with nonstop news.
Good morning, everyone. Nonstop news starts right now. We're the only station that's commercial free for the next 15 minutes, but we've got you covered, including a look at your traffic conditions. And for that, we go to Joy Bergen. Tell us a little bit more, Joy, about how the traffic conditions look for this Friday. But first, we want to head on over to weather, and sorry about that. And for that, we go to Joe DeCarlo with how things look for this Friday.
Hey, Christina. Well, we will start mostly cloudy as the sun does come up, but then we're going to lose some of the clouds through the lunch hour, turn partly sunny. Seasonally hot this afternoon, 93. We do have a 10% chance of an isolated shower. More on that in a second. High temperatures today, seasonal for this time of year. 93 San Antonio, will near 100 from Carrizo Springs to Cotulla later on today. Upper 80s across the hill country, 88 in Kerrville this afternoon. The rain chance, it's low, 10% later on this afternoon as we bubble up an isolated shower or a thunderstorm. Coverage does increase, though, tomorrow and Sunday as we do have our next weather maker moving in. It's a 30% scattered chance of rain for your weekend. And then next week right now looks fairly quiet. We'll talk about how much rain. We'll time it out for you when the best rain chance is this weekend in your full 4-zone forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, well, you know, the commute has so far been very gentle across most of San Antonio. However, we do still have that closure downtown. The delay has kind of been fluctuating a little bit, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. This is northbound on I-35 at San Marcos. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it a lot worse in that area. Earlier in the week, we saw that get up to a 25-minute delay, even up to a 30-minute delay, you know, at the very start of the week. So we're pleased with that. We'll take it. Photojournalist David Mendoza out and about this morning in road cam. I want to get a check-in from him on how it's been from the ground. David?
Hey, good morning. So right now I'm on 10 East and Culebra. I try to get away from downtown, but there's just empty roads everywhere else. So right now I'm headed back into downtown. I'm seeing a little congestion on the eastbound lanes of I-90/I-10. I'm going to go check that out. I'll keep you updated and let you know. Back to you.
David, that sounds good. We'll check in soon with your on-time traffic.
All right, thanks so much. Well, it's been 1 week since the devastating flooding in Kerr County, and we want to bring you the latest. The number of people who lost their lives in Kerr County remains at 96. The number of missing also remains at 161 there. Statewide, 120 people have died in the flooding. This morning, we actually have dispatch audio where we hear calls for a code red emergency alert in Kerr County. It helps us piece together the time frame local officials have yet to share about their response when the Guadalupe River was rising. An Ingram volunteer firefighter is heard telling a county sheriff dispatcher at 4:22 a.m. that morning about the rising water, and he is requesting a code red. A code red is a notification system some agencies use to send out emergency alerts to subscribers' cell phones. Here's a clip of that audio that we've been able to obtain.
Is there any way we can send a code red out to our Hunt residents asking them to find higher ground or stay home?
10-4 standby. We have to get that approved with our supervisor.
Now, it's still unclear at what time code red alerts finally went out. Local officials have largely sidestepped questions about it. Kerrville Mayor Joe Herring Jr. telling reporters this week the only code notification that he received was at 6 a.m. That would have been an hour and a half later. We will, of course, continue to work to get you answers about the response. We're hearing from Texas Senator Ted Cruz on the flooding disaster. He took time to thank the number of countless responders, first responders and volunteers who were on the ground saving lives.
And every time there's a disaster, Texans come together. They help each other. And so there were over 850 high water rescues during the flooding. You had over a dozen helicopters in the air from the Coast Guard, from the National Guard, from Texas DPS. You had game wardens pulling people out of harm's way.
Cruz says he has 2 daughters that have gone to camp near Hunt in the area of Mystic. He said his youngest daughter had just been picked up from that camp a week before the deadly flooding. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are set to visit Texas today. In fact, just a few hours from now, they're going to get to see the aftermath of the catastrophic flooding firsthand. Jordan Elder joins us with what we know about the president's plans.
Christina, the president is going to get to see this tragedy from all angles today. He's expected to meet with family members who have been directly impacted by the deadly flooding, the first responders who have been out here 24/7 since the water started rising, and Kerr County officials who are working to pick up the pieces after this. Now, the president has said that he wanted to visit Texas right after the disaster happened, but he didn't want to get in the way of rescuers and first responders. A lot of their operations were happening by air, and when a president visits, that airspace has to be shut down. Local officials have said they will be continuing their search efforts today as the president visits. We know Governor Greg Abbott will be here, along with Congressman Pete Sessions and Tony Gonzalez. Also, Senator John Cornyn, who thanked the president for approving a disaster declaration for the floods.
Said, whatever you need. And that message was reiterated by Secretary Nome. And of course, the president agreed to a federal disaster declaration at the request of Governor Abbott on the spot.
This visit comes amid criticism of FEMA, which the president has said he wants to phase out, and the National Weather Service. Senator Cornyn said in that speech that there is no evidence right now that there were any failures at the National Weather Service, but technology upgrades should be looked at. We've also been hearing a lot of conversations about flood sirens and flooding alarms. The president has signaled that that is a solution that he would support. We also know that Texas lawmakers are being called back to Austin for a special session in just a few weeks, and the governor has tasked them with discussing this now too. For now, reporting in Kerrville, I'm Jordan Elder.
Well, Governor Greg Abbott is requesting more counties be added to the president's major disaster declaration. That includes Kendall County. President Trump had previously approved a disaster declaration for Kerr County. Well, search and rescue efforts continue to move along the Guadalupe River near Center Point. The Center Point Volunteer Fire Department says 2 search crews are working side by side. One is made up of firefighters and rescue teams from all over the country. The other is made up of a huge number of volunteers. Both crews have been going nonstop since last Friday.
You're going 100 miles all day long, and then when you do get the 5 minutes before you go to bed, the reality sits in of the magnitude of what's going on here. And you're thinking about the families, you know, and the victims. And that's what's guiding everybody. That's why everybody's going, because the focus is those victims.
Absolutely. Both groups say the community's prayers are what keep them going, and they want to provide closure for those families who are still holding out hope for those loved ones. Well, as search and rescue efforts continue up and down the Guadalupe River, Ingram first responders are facing treacherous conditions on an 8-mile stretch of river. They say debris piles, in some cases 20 to 30 feet high, are so much slowing those search efforts. And Texas game wardens are there, and canine partners are still searching as well. Since last Friday, wardens have made 444 rescues and more than 30 recoveries in the most impacted areas. Well, it has now been 1 week since those flash floods came sweeping through those homes, cars, and people. Search and rescue operations continue for more than 160 people who are still missing. News 4 San Antonio's Tawny Davis joins us live in Kerrville with the latest on the Hill Country flooding disaster. Good morning, Tawny.
Good morning, Christina. We are here in Kerrville, as you said, along the Guadalupe River in an area that has just opened back up, but there's still so much devastation. We want you to take a look right now. This massive tree was just toppled over from that floodwater, almost as high as that tree up there, so you can kind of get an idea of what this was supposed to look like. But that's not the only thing. You could see this light pole here just tossed aside easily because of that water, and there's just so much trash around here as well. This kayak has just been tossed. We got water bottles, we got sticks, just so much trash. But to give you an idea of how high this water got, we're going to move up to those trees up there. At one point the water was all the way up there, so you can understand just how bad it got here. But throughout all of that, we have seen a community come together. You know, we've been to these press conferences all week where the Kerr County officials have just thanked everyone, all these agencies that have come down from far and wide to help in the search and rescue for all those that remain missing, and also the people that we've spoken spoken to who are helping out in any way, whether it's donations, food, helping out with their pets. It's been amazing to see what a community can do just to make sure that everyone is staying safe. But this is just a small portion of the devastation that we've seen throughout this week here. But like I said, we will continue to be following this and showing you just the aftermath of this. But for now, Christina, I'm going to send it right back to you in the studio.
It does. It looks so devastating out there, and obviously the work continues. They don't want people to mess with those piles. Unfortunately, they just don't know what they're going to find, and they want to leave it up to the professionals and those people who've signed up to volunteer. Thank you so much, Tony. Great work. A large memorial is growing along Water Street in Kerrville, honoring the lives lost in Friday's flash flooding. Photos of each and every victim now line the area, drawing visitors from near and far. Have a look. People have been stopping by to leave flowers, messages, and prayers. Among the memorial are photos of those who died and those who remain missing after that flood. Family and friends have also come by to pay tribute. The man who organized this memorial traveled from Florida to help make sure each and every victim is remembered. Many who stop by say it is very emotional and hard to leave without shedding a tear.
I have a 4-year-old. So seeing these angels, you know, like a mom cries, it's true, we all cry.
He's right here. This is him right here, Coach Zunker. And
Teacher of the Year.
He was Teacher of the Year, yes. And then this is his children, and then that was his wife.
Very sad to watch. You know, organizers say they plan to keep the memorial up all week, and grief counselors and support groups have also been stopping by to help those processing this loss. San Antonio Food Bank is doing their part to help out flood survivors as well. This is video of volunteers packing up all of those supplies for people in Kerr County and San Angelo. They packed more than 978 boxes, collecting more than 29,340 pounds of food in just a couple of hours. Each and every one of those boxes is going to help feed a family for 2 weeks. Well, right now, News 4 San Antonio is partnering up with the Salvation Army for Sinclair Cares. We are proud to do this. Texas Tragedy Relief. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen to help provide meals and hope to survivors and first responders. You ask how you can help out. It's right there on your screen, folks, that QR code. Folks, people desperately need our help right now, and we are offering a way to do it. You just have to scan that QR code and you can donate right there. We're partnering with the Salvation Army, and that's one way to give back if you'd like.
Now you're certified most accurate four-zone weather with meteorologist Joe DiCarlo.
Well, the latest drought monitor was released yesterday, and as you imagined, we did see it trim back a little bit after what we went through last week. And let's roll on this from last week to this week, and you see the change there. Still seeing exceptional drought conditions around Medina County, right near Hondo, but that has shrunk. And we still do have severe to moderate to extreme drought across much of our area, and extreme to exceptional from Bexar County westward. But you know what happened between then, especially across the hill country, could use a break, at least from that rain in the hill country now. Still need it, though, across portions of the area. Multi-year drought, that's how far we were behind in rainfall. Ruby Rodriguez, log camera downtown this morning. Here's what to expect for your day today. Partly sunny skies, seasonally hot temperatures. We do have a small afternoon rain chance as we do bubble up an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but the coverage will be low. Higher rain chance tomorrow and Sunday, and then dry and hotter for next week. Here's your temperatures right now. 70s, 80 Del Rio to Cotulla at 77 this morning in San Antonio. We do have some clouds out there, but no rain to speak of for the moment. A few showers out along the Texas coast. That's pushing to the north, and a few showers here in West Texas to eastern New Mexico, but for the most part, pretty quiet across Texas this morning. Here's your Friday forecast. Mostly cloudy as the sun comes up here, and then we are partly sunny into the afternoon. Seasonally hot 93, 10% on that isolated shower. So here it is. This afternoon, we will bubble up an isolated shower or two. Could really be anywhere. Best chance is going to be around San Antonio and to the east, and then it will fizzle after the sun goes down and we're quiet for your Friday night. Rain coverage ahead. It does come back up 30% Saturday and Sunday, so more rain opportunities ahead of us. Here's tomorrow. We'll start mostly cloudy. We're dry through the first half of the day, and then it's a scattering of showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm into the afternoon and the evening. And then again Sunday, we'll watch for some heavy rain in spots. We'll have to watch that carefully to see if we see downpours or two through the weekend. It's not a washout for your weekend, but make sure to have a backup plan as you do find yourself with some wet weather here and there. Through today, it's an isolated location that may see a quick inch or so. Most areas don't see any rain at all, and then as we play through the weekend, 1/4 to an inch in most locations. Saharan dust that is pushing to the north will be out of here by your upcoming weekend. Here's your full 7-day forecast with those rain chances, hotter and dry next week. Out west, temperatures around 100. It's an isolated rain chance in the short term. Here's your hill country forecast. Low rain chances today, but we do pick it up over the weekend, upper 80s, low 90s. And there's your full eastern zone extended forecast.
All right, on-time traffic. So far, it's been pretty on time across most of San Antonio. Downtown, we've had this going on, those construction closures on I-35 northbound at San Marcos, still sitting at around a 5 to 10 minute delay. That's much lower than we've seen it reach earlier in the week. So if we can keep it like that, we'll be pretty satisfied. Photojournalist David Mendoza is out in road cam, and he has now found a new issue for us to worry about. David, I want to check in and kind of see where you are and what you've learned.
Hello and good morning, Joy. So yes, this is 35 north right before I-10 and 90, right on the ramp entrance. We have a 3-vehicle accident with police on the scene. You know, this has the potential to really increase traffic on I-35. Right now it looks like there's a slowdown beforehand, but cars are moving pretty well afterwards. That's it for me. Just be aware of this accident. You might face a slowdown. Drive safe and have a wonderful Friday. Back to you.
All right, David, happy Friday. Thank you. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
Well, here's a last look at the resources available if you've been affected by the hill country flooding. If you lost your driver's license in the floods, the sheriff's office wants to help you. You can go to these locations to replace it. You don't need to make an appointment. Just let the staff know that you've been affected. Thank you so much for watching us this morning, and we want to let you know that we are with you. We're here for you. We're going to stay on top of it. We're going to have special coverage of the president's visit. He's going to be in town, so be sure to stick with us. We are